Wildfire season is officially here in Southern Oregon. Even as I'm doing this video, there's a fire in the Applegate Valley that firefighters are still working to contain. Now the risks are rising and so are the insurance premiums. And yes, we're even starting to see some insurance companies cancel policies altogether. Hey everyone, I'm Simona Fino and welcome to Living Southern Oregon. Today I'm going to share information about homeowners insurance as it relates to wildfires and what it means for buyers and sellers. Now one major concern for buyers, particularly those eyeing rural properties, is the looming question. Can I even get insurance? And if I can, is it going to break the bank? All right, this is obviously something that affects sellers too, because they need to know if insurance is going to be something that prevents a buyer from purchasing their home. Well, folks, the good news is the situation isn't as dire as some would make it out to be. Now, you're very likely to be able to get insurance. The question is, with who and how much is it going to cost? So here's the thing, there are some insurance companies who aren't writing new policies and even canceling policies with current homeowners. For example, I've heard reports of Farmers Insurance doing this here in Southern Oregon. However, there's still plenty of companies that are writing policies, and I'm told by a local insurance company, Country Financial, that it's pretty rare to find a property that simply can't be insured. All right, we are seeing the cost of homeowners insurance go up though. On average, homeowners can expect to pay anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 or more per year for a standard policy, and it's not uncommon for homeowners to expect to pay more if they're getting additional coverage. Now keep in mind these numbers are averages because pricing is going to depend on a whole number of factors, including the type of coverage you get, the value of the home you're insuring, the fire risk. So if you're buying a rural property, I highly recommend that you get your homeowner's insurance sorted out sooner rather than later so you know whether the cost is going to be prohibitive to buying the home or not. Oftentimes, buyers will ask me what the current owner pays for insurance. This question is kind of moot because in nearly all cases, the seller is paying less than what a new owner would pay. So it's best for a buyer to do their own due diligence and find out what a new policy is going to cost. All right, if you're considering purchasing a home in a rural area, there are a few things that you should take into consideration. First thing, research the local fire department and find out what their response times are. If you're buying a home that is way out in the middle of nowhere and there's no fire department nearby, you're going to expect to pay a higher premium. Now you also want to look at the property's defensible space and whether it's been properly maintained. Insurance companies want to see nothing flammable. This includes bushes, plants, firewood stacked against the house within the first 5 feet of a structure, and they want to see it lean, clean, and green within 30 feet. And this does include tree branches overhanging roofs. All right, I also want you to consider whether you're planning to do any major upgrades to a home that is in the high wildfire risk zone. Why? Well, you might have to adhere to new fire hardening codes with requirements to use fire-resistant materials. So this could affect your overall budget for any remodeling or upgrades that you plan to do, or any additional building on the property. Now, one resource I found for both buyers and sellers to find out wildfire risk for a particular property is the Oregon statewide wildfire map. Now, I'm including the link below so you can check it out for yourself, but all you do is input an address and then it takes you to a page showing you the risk for that property. Once you're on that page, you'll find a button that allows you to print a PDF report for that property showing the risk assessment and a bunch of wildfire risk mitigation resources. So definitely check that out. Now, as a seller with a moderate to high risk property, I highly recommend you ensure your home has adequate defensible space, as this is going to increase the likelihood of a buyer being able to obtain a policy that's not going to break the bank. Do this before you get your home on the market so that the online photos show a well-kept defensible space. To help with this, I'm including a link with details on how to create defensible space. All right, the other thing I'm recommending sellers do is get a copy of that PDF report and make it available to potential buyers. This way you have disclosed the fire risk and buyers can do their own due diligence from there. All right, I hope this information's been helpful. Now, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments or feel free to give me a call. I'm happy to answer anything. My number, 541-326-2552. All right, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.